Therese Walsh is a superstar. She won Woman of Influence of the Year, like the supreme winner. And the reason is because you're living life to the full. Are you doing what you want?
Yes, I am. I'm doing what I want. I didn't know I wanted it 10 or 15 years ago, but it's just a journey that I've been on, and I'm just a driven person who likes to do a lot. So one thing's led to another, and here I am with quite a busy professional life.
So tell me, what is the main thing that you're doing at the moment?
The main thing I'm doing is heading up the Cricket World Cup, which is a big global tournament coming to New Zealand and Australia at the beginning of 2015. So quite close now, and pretty exciting.
Very exciting, and of course it's not without its challenges at the moment.
No,
that's right.
No,
so how are you coping with all of that? Taking it all in your stride?
Yeah, I think it's a bit like being fit, match fit, you know, where people have to get their physical fitness up. I think when you work in businesses that are difficult sometimes, you need to learn to just be able to live with that and still sleep at night and know that the sun will come up the next day. So I think it's, as you get older and wiser, you become a bit more philosophical and you roll with things.
Understood. So tell me, how do you make sure that you live the life that you want? Because the real issue is so many people come and see me and they say, oh, you know, you're so lucky, you know, you can do that, but I'm so bored and I'm so unhappy. And I say to them, well, actually, you could live the life you want too.
I think it's it does take people a while. It's certainly taking me a while, and still on that journey like everyone else. But it's about understanding, I guess, who you are as a person and what your drivers are. And for some people, a really low stress life is a really great thing, and it's a great outcome. And for me, that's not the case. For me, I like challenges. So it's about recognising that and not beating yourself up about it, and kind of giving into it. So knowing that I need a lot of challenge in my life is something that's obviously I'm going to have to prioritise, and it's important, and it takes a lot of my time, but then I balance it in other ways, not the ways you might typically expect. You know, I might go on a really lovely holiday once a year, and I might spend a little bit of money doing that, but it's really good quality time for me, so, and the family. So, you know, it's about each person's personal priorities, both professional and otherwise.
So how do you get that balance? Because, I like a lot of challenge too. And sometimes when you're stomping around, you have to kind of remind yourself that you're doing this because you want to, and remind yourself to be happy.
You do, and that's, you know, a little bit of coping and rolling with the punches. But things do happen, and they do wake you up. You know, the other day we lost somebody that worked on the Rugby World Cup with us, a team member, and at a very young age, and in tragic circumstances, 42. So very, you know, tragic circumstances, and I think you do stop and you do think, and it's important to do what you want to be doing, having challenges, etc. But you can't forget the people around you, and importantly, you can't forget your health. And that's something I constantly have to remind myself about.
Now that's important. So let's just talk about that. And making sure that you're fit, as somebody who's just put their back out and is hobbling around at the moment. There's nothing like being not fit. So what do you do to make sure that you're functioning well, you're match fit?
Well, I try my best. I fail sometimes. You know, there are times when your schedule sort of creeps up on you and you don't do what you should do. But I think generally, you know, I know that I need to keep exercising, so I have my way of fitting that into my life. I walk in the mornings very early before most people are awake, so that's a way of fitting it in. Also take time out, you know, things like back massages. There's just a whole lot of sort of therapeutic things that you can do, and also sometimes it's just really good to do something that is a real mental release. So when I go to the movies, I don't want to see anything challenging. I don't want to see anything very sad.
Go see X-Men.
Okay,
it's
I
great.
haven't seen that. But, you know, a lovely romantic comedy or something. It's just finding those ways. You know, if I've had a really busy week in Auckland and I'm on the way home, I might pick up a woman's magazine and just read through some of the gossip pages. It's just about finding those little outlets where you let your brain off for a few minutes and you just, you know, relax.
So let me talk to you about seasons in your life, because it's clear to me that you're in a really frenetic and busy season of your life. I mean, do you see your life in terms of chunks? What's going to happen to you after March of next year or February of next year?
I think you're right. I am in the busiest chunk of my life at the moment to date, and you know, there was a bit where you're at school and university, and then there's the bit where you're gaining your qualifications and you're working, and then having children and doing those things, and now I'm probably in a really career focused phase, and I do think that, you know, I do look at that career phase continuing on. I don't know quite what my role will be, you know, in 2015, and that's quite exciting for me. But you know, at some point after that, and I don't know how many years quite, I would like to see a different balance in my life where, you know, some of the personal objectives take a front seat. And anytime I tell people that, they say, well, what if you're not alive then? You know, so you've got to do enough that actually, if I was to drop dead next year, it is, you know, I haven't got these huge regrets that I've just put everything on hold.
No, that's right.
So, but it is a difficult juggling act.
So do you live as if every year is the last year of your life? How do you get that immediacy in your life so you can get the priorities straight?
Yeah, well, I think part of it is just me. I'm just always going to be reasonably full on. But I think that my own father died when he was he was just over 50.
Wow.
So I think that does give you a different perspective as you grow up. I was very young at the time, and I think that you realise as you get closer to 50 that actually 50's not that old.
No,
but it seemed that to me at the time when he died.
Yeah. But it seems to me the way that you deal with it is just to go for it. Life's short.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's play hard.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the same thing with your money. You know, you can save a lot. Yeah. Or you can spend a lot, or you can do something in between. And it's about, again, finding that right balance. And you know, when you work hard, you earn money. So you do need to make sure you spend some as well as save some. And
how do you, in all of this, how do you make sure that you have time for the kids and time for your family? And
well, I think,
any words of wisdom about that?
I think for me it's been really natural in the sense that I know I'm busy with my work, but my kids are critically important to me, so they become that other priority, you know. So other things will go off the boiler. You know, if I have a choice between my own fitness or supporting the kids in something, that's what will take precedence. So they understand my work, they support it, I'm around enough at the time, and I think it's kind of being around constantly. So, you know, I might be away a few days a week, but I'm still around a good part of the week in Wellington, or you know, you have a good holiday with them and you're there for the prize givings hopefully most of the time. You do have to share the job a little bit, you know, but it's as long as they know that you love them and support them. So they are a big priority for me, and I do try and feed it into most of the days.
So in terms of your legacy, what is it you're trying to leave, Therese?
Well, I guess hopefully you know, happy children and a family and some people that you've had a good meaningful relationship with. But I think on the professional level, if I go into that, my professional zone tends to be a little bit more than just you know, career or whatever. It's about something a little more emotional and spiritual for me. So most of the things I've been involved with have got the words New Zealand in them. Oh, wow. And I'm a really, really passionate New Zealander. So if I could take a job that paid less, that gave me some more of that kind of fulfillment versus another job, then I would. So for me, that's about that legacy of, you know, what is New Zealand like? What is it going to be like when I am gone and my children are hopefully maybe here, that, you know, that they'll get out of this country, because it's a very special country, New Zealand, and I think we don't stop and think about it enough. I certainly didn't appreciate New Zealand until I travelled overseas with my job a lot, and you start to see it, you know.
So tell me about the Cricket World Cup. It's a big deal to have it in Australia and New Zealand. What is the key thing about that which you didn't know when you took the job?
It's hard. Cricketers and rugby players are different. I've learned that there's quite a few differences in sport apart from the shape of the ball. But the thing for me that's become really special that I hadn't recognised when I first joined is that the last time we did this, and the only other time we've done this for a Cricket World Cup, was in 1992 when I was a lot younger, and we were all a lot younger. People from the subcontinent who follow cricket religiously, and of whom many people have come to New Zealand, were not as deeply as accepted in the population as they are now. And for me, it's celebrating that, because, you know, people from India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they love cricket. A lot of those people live here and are New Zealanders in their own right, but have a strong, obviously, affinity to their, you know, earth or home country. And I think celebrating that is part of the...
I hadn't thought about that.
No, and I hadn't either.
Yeah,
and
the whole diversity element.
And it's just, that's who we are today as New Zealanders. And so for me, that's something I'm trying to elevate.
Well, that's really important, because I do remember saying to Robon Can that the first time we got a Chinese All Black would be the time that discrimination against Chinese would fall away. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get one of those, and I don't think I've bred one. But isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So that's great, and it's going to be a great success.
Yes, look, it will, and I think New Zealanders aren't very locked onto it yet, but it will take us all a bit by surprise.
When are you going to be full frontal? When are you going to be getting the marketing out? How many people do you expect to come?
So we'll get going in terms of launching the tournament properly at the beginning of the cricket summer season this year, so about November.
Right.
We're expecting to have across both countries about 1 million people attending the matches, and there'll be an audience, global TV audience of over
so
1 billion.
This is like the Rugby World Cup.
Oh, it is. In fact, the TV audience is bigger internationally.
Is that right?
Well, it's because of the subcontinent again.
Oh, okay.
So, there will not be a TV set in India that is not tuned in.
Well, it's obvious that New Zealand Asian Leaders needs to be
Yes.
sponsoring and needs to be involved.
That's right.
Because I hadn't picked up that diversity element.
Yes,
Yeah?
so that's a critical part. So, we're expecting tens of thousands of people to come into New Zealand, as well as New Zealanders will flow around the country as well. So, it's summery time, so it'll be a bit buzzy. I think it'll be.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, go well.
Thank
We're
you.
proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for doing this for New Zealand.
No problems. Thank you.